So how to like get out of this like feeling left behind in life? We have to feel. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome back to another video podcast. This is Misa.
And this is Yuka.
And welcome to the Misa Yuka podcast. So today, welcome back to another podcast. If you're new here, we are two sisters born in Japan, raised in the US, and on this podcast, we just talk about random things that we relate to each week, and we hope you relate to as well. We usually talk about like life stuff, love, life, work, career, anything, you name it. Between the lines, we are going to talk about. So today, what are we talking about, Yuka?
We're talking about feeling left behind.
No, feeling behind in life. Not feeling left behind by a train or like by a car. Like we're
grammar. Feeling behind in life.
Yeah, because have you ever felt behind in life?
Yeah.
That's been my life story, feeling behind in life. Yeah.
I feel like everyone feels behind in life, especially like early 20s.
Yes. And have you ever thought of why we feel behind in life?
Should I say it?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think it's because like when we look, we have social media these days, and like there's so many, we can see everyone's life, and like you kind of just like compare yourself.
Right. To other people.
Yeah.
But also, have you ever like thought about like, oh, these are like the social norms, right? We need to graduate, get into college at the age of 18, graduate by age of 22, get a job around age, like right after that, right? Get married by age 30,
right?
Buy a house by age 35, be retired at 60.
I've never had that timeline before.
But I feel like 30 or like the college thing it was kind of like a given, but there are like some of my friends, right? They graduate like at age 25 or something different, right? But this like, oh, I need to get married by age 30. It's also like 30, like marriage is also a big thing, right? We say like, especially in Japan, it's like, oh, when you want to get married by. And I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I want to get married by age 30.
Yeah.
It's like a number. But now the question is, who picked the numbers? Who picked them?
I think it's just like that number is the most safe number. And especially for like women, and like if we want like babies and stuff, then like if you're over 30, it gets harder.
It does get harder.
So then it's just a number, but it's also like people kind of planned it out and set it.
You're right. And I was just listening to a Mel Robbins podcast because we are part of the Mel Robbins family. I know we're part of the Misa Yuka podcast family, but we're also part of the Mel Robbins family. So like we all kind of like automatically are part of the Mel Robbins podcast family too. And she said that so all these like social norms were based on and it's like all based on research, right? Because she does a lot of research. And she said that all these social norms are based on, like, were made from the 1850s, right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's very long. And perhaps, like, whatever we do right now was made from the 1850s. So, like, whatever like, social norms that we have right now was perhaps made in the 1950s.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's, like, based off of it, but it's not like it's been like rebuilt, hasn't it?
Yeah, rebuilt, and then but everything is like kind of based on something, right? So it's really based from the past, whatever like our ancestors experienced, right? And then so now let's look at like the life expectancy. She said And in the 1850s, the life expectancy was the average life expectancy was 29 years old.
You're dead this year.
Yeah, I'm dead this year. If your average life expectancy is age 29, yeah, you should be getting married very early, or else, you're going to be gone.
Missing out.
Yeah, you're going to be gone for in a couple of years, right? Now the average life expectancy in Japan is around 84. We have 4th place in the world. The longest one being Monaco. I don't know why I said it like that, but it's Monaco.
That's so funny.
Monaco.
Who is that?
That's a country. That is so funny. I thought you were kidding.
I thought you were talking about the longest person that has been alive in Japan. I was and you said Monaco, and then I was oh, that sounds like Monaco.
Person. モナカっていうのは人いないかね。モナコだからね。モナコちゃん as a country.
I see.
Yeah, with an average life expectancy of 86 years old. So now the life expectancy has been growing, right?
Right.
And now 2025 is so different from when our parents were growing up, right? They didn't have the iPhone, everything is just so different. So now it's why do we have to go on a timeline? And why do we have to base off a timeline? With a social norm that was built 60 years ago.
Right.
Right.
But I feel honestly, the timeline may be there. Mm-hmm. I think it's just we're basing the categories. Mm-hmm. The categories are still the same. Mm-hmm. What we want in life, what we want to accomplish. But I feel the timeline has been shifting.
Yeah, it's been shifting.
It's a lot older. People used to get married when they were 15? Yeah. 17, 20.
And then that got now into 25.
25. Now it's 30. 30. Everyone's aiming for 30.
Yeah. Yeah, now the 30s is the new 20s, they say.
Oh. Really?
Right? Yeah,
right,
they say that.
Yeah.
And also, Mel Robbins was talking. I don't know if this is kind of off topic, but 20s is the time where you explore. You don't have to figure things out when you're 20. Right?
Yeah.
If you have things figured out, you should explore even more, she said, in your 20s. But that's for the 20-year-old, the 20s people. She also said something about being very realistic with the research that yes, if you're a woman and if you want kids, you should be thinking about when you're going to get married and have kids, because for your eggs to yeah, for your eggs to be fertile, right?
Yeah.
It kind of your ability to reproduce kind of really dwanes after 30. It really withers after 30. Right. So she suggested if you're over 30 and
to freeze your eggs.
Yeah, to freeze your eggs.
Yeah, we should all freeze our eggs.
Yeah. So I feel I think I need to do that. I might need to do that.
But I heard it's really expensive.
Yeah, to freeze your eggs. But it's something if you want kids and if you are over 30, be really realistic. Use the sciences to do that. But anyways, so these are some of the things that I learned recently, and I was oh, it really cleared up some of the things. But I'm a chronic person who kind of feels left behind in life. Yeah. I don't feel behind in life right now. I feel learning about this, it made me feel that everyone, it has their own timeline.
Yeah.
Right? But we tend to like just compare.
Yeah. We compare because we compare the wrong things.
Yeah, we compare the wrong things. So like we need to be like, we need to like clear up, we all need to clear up our minds.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, we're seriously comparing different people. It's kind of like comparing apples to bananas. They're so different.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's a really good metaphor.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Like, apples and bananas are so different.
Yeah. I feel like we always look at the results, like the end goal.
Yeah.
Whereas we should be looking at where we're starting.
Yeah.
Like we're starting at point A, whereas like the person you're comparing to is like already at the goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I think sometimes we're not like present.
Yeah.
Do you feel that way? Sometimes I'm the most non-present
she's not
person.
Present.
I'm not present.
Yeah.
I'm always thinking about the future, what my visions and stuff. But being present, being real with like, okay, this is what I need to do today. Like, these are my deadlines. These are my responsibilities. Do it. That really clears up things in my mind, and then it makes me present. And that allows me to like not compare yourself to other people and live on your own timeline.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. Also, like, what I realized recently is like, you know, Mr. Honda.
Mr. Honda, yeah.
Mr. Honda, he's like a really successful guy. His company is so big.
Right.
But I realized like his history. Like he started his company when he was like 40, 50.
Yeah.
Around there.
Yeah. No, seriously, I don't know where I was listening to this, but yeah, like we see all these young entrepreneurs, successful millionaires, billionaires.
Yeah.
But a lot of these different companies were started by, 40, 50-year-olds.
Yeah, and then, you know, I think he retired like around after 20 years or so. So he had his company for 20 years and then it grew even bigger. But that was the start. It was like 40 when he was 40, 50. And then like 20s, he was exploring. He was like kind of like going after his passions and like trying to figure things out.
Mm-hmm.
But he was only successful after like 40, 50.
Yeah.
So,
which I think like is sometimes like we glorify young success.
Yeah.
Being rich when you're young. But like you don't need to be rich when you're young.
Yeah.
Right?
We just need to be climbing up the right mountain when we're young.
Yeah, not the wrong mountain. But then you don't even know if it's the wrong mountain that you're climbing up, right? So we just need to be climbing up a mountain. Mm-hmm. When so there's no such thing as feeling behind in life. Are we all clear?
But actually...
okay.
Actually, I felt behind in life when I was climbing the wrong ladder.
Oh, okay. Right.
Like, for example, I really want to be a banana, but I'm an apple, you know? That's like the wrong ladder. But then when you start becoming like an apple, then you feel more present.
Right, because you're climbing up the right
ladder.
I think it's like being able to go on the path that makes sense for you.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes okay, if I want to do this, like if I want to be a pilot or something and I'm like doing content creation, that's so different, right?
Yeah.
And then, but if your like vision is like, oh, I want to be a pilot, but I'm doing this kind of thing. Yeah, that'll make me feel like I'm behind in life because I'm not climbing up that mountain to become a pilot.
Yeah.
I'm doing something else. Mm-hmm. But once you're like, okay, I want to be a pilot, so these are the things I need to do, and I shift my gears and then like climb up the mountain to become a pilot, then I would feel more aligned. I think it's like feeling aligned with yourself.
Yeah.
Is how you kind of get out of feeling behind in life.
Yeah.
Right? I think so. I think so. Nicely said, everyone.
Woo!
So how to like get out of this like feeling left behind in life? We have to feel aligned with what makes sense.
Yeah.
Which takes time. And so you use your 20s, even your 30s to figure that out so that you don't feel like nothing made sense when you're like in your deathbed.
Yeah.
Right?
And also like you can't do it alone.
Yeah.
I think someone needs to guide you too. And in order to get that guide, you have to be like vocal about it. You know, like I want to do blah, blah, blah. And you have to like say it to people. And then someday someone will pick it up and then kind of route you to it.
Yeah.
So I think I was pretty vocal about what I wanted to do, even though I didn't really know if that was something that I wanted to do.
Right.
And then it kind of like
started to.
Yeah. So I think that's something that we should be doing too.
Yeah, like being vocal, like trying to say what you want to do. Oh yeah, this is like, please don't expect a lot from this podcast. We're figuring it out. This is like a therapy session for us too. Yeah. Like we're organizing how we're thinking with you.
Yeah.
Right? So we are not in the position of like giving life advice because like we're literally going through the rut right now too.
Yeah.
Okay. But we're just sharing what we're learning along the way. All in all, in conclusion, 2025 is so different from what we had 70 years ago, right? And so no one knows what is going on right now, right? Even our parents don't even know how to get through in this day and age. And that's why they can't really give us advice.
Right.
Right? Because they're also going through it too. And we need to understand that everyone is on a different timeline because everyone has literally different lives.
Yeah.
Right? And so we cannot be looking at a different person's lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. And being like, oh my God, this person already has that. This person already has that.
Yeah.
Who cares? You know, like we are on a different time, like going to different places, right? They might be going to A, another to B, another, and then you to C. We're all going to different directions, so we really cannot compare. We can't compare like a Starbucks to McDonald's to Pizza Hut.
Right, because they're all so different.
They're all different. You can't be like, oh yeah, Pizza Hut is better than the Starbucks. It's like, okay, like, you know, there's nothing to compare. So we just can't do that. And we just have to stay focused in our own lanes because we are all on our own timelines.
Yeah.
Okay?
Also, one last note.
Okay. From Yuka.
I feel like when we compare, like I used to compare like myself with like a different designer and be like, oh, that person's so much better, you know, like so much more successful and stuff. But at the same time, I think Mel Robbins said this, like you also have so much to offer. Like that person is not you, and that person cannot produce your style.
Yeah.
So everyone's style, everyone's, you know, talents are so valuable. And so it's important to like kind of embrace that.
Yeah. And yeah, I think that is very well said, Yuka.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for listening until the very end this week too. Yeah, if you guys have any like messages or like things that you want to ask us about, we will be answering in our podcast from now on. So DM us. DM misamosa.co on Instagram. Okay, so I hope you guys are having a great day
and a great life.
I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. See you.
I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down. It's what you do.